Good morning again. I'm here with our Junie B Jones is a Graduation Girl chapter book, and today we're starting chapter 3. But if you remember back to chapter 2, Junie B just got in trouble. Do you remember why? Because she said some silly, inappropriate words when they were trying to think of words for their poems for their parents' graduation cards. And so her teacher told her that she had to go to the office. And do you know who works in the office that Junie B might have to go see? The principal. So today, chapter 3 is called A Good Chuckle. And chuckle means laugh. So I wonder if Junie B Jones is going to get in trouble or if she's going to be laughing about it. Let's find out. The office is where Principal lives. I know my way there by heart. There is a typing lady there too, but she looked over the counter at me. Well, 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 would you look at who it is, she said. I looked down at myself. Well, 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 it looks like me, I said kind of quiet. The typing lady pointed at the blue chair. The blue chair is where the bad kids sit. Only I'm not even bad, but I still have to sit there sometimes. I put my feet on the edge of the chair, and I hid my face in my knees. If you don't hide your face, people can recognize yourself. Finally, I peeked one eye at Principal's door, and guess what? That guy was looking right back at me. Is that Junie B Jones I see out there? He asked. I did a gasp, 'cause Principal can't even recognize me from one eyeball, apparently. I went into his office and I sat in the big wood chair. Principal winked at me. I'm a little bit surprised to see you, Junie B, he said. You haven't been sent here for quite some time. I nodded. I know it, I said. That's because my behavior has shown considerable improvement. I pronounced the words very perfect. My teacher printed those words on my report card, I said. And guess what else showed improvement? My speaking, that's what. 'Cause I don't say runned anymore, and I don't say thinked, and I don't say throwed. Do you want to hear me say them, right? Huh? Do you, Principal? I took a deep breath. Ran, ran, ran. Thought, thought, thought. Through, 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 I said. I smiled really proud. See, I told you. Mother says I'm getting a better vocabulary, I said. Vocabulary, said Principal. Whatever, I said. Principal smiled. Yes, well, I'm delighted with your improvements, Junie B, but if everything has gotten better, then why are you here? I wiggled in my chair, very uncomfortable. Because it wasn't my fault, that's why. What wasn't your fault? Said Principal. I wiggled some more. Then finally I told Principal how my teacher made us write a graduation poem, and how she said the last word had to rhyme with blue. And so Polly Allen Puffer rhymed the word P-U, I said, but then Mrs. got very mad at him because she did not appreciate his behavior, young man. Only too bad for me because my brain thought of an even sillier poem, and my mouth couldn't hold it inside. Principal closed his eyes. He did some deep breaths. Do you think he needed to do that to calm down? All right, he said, let's hear it. I gulped, very worried. Then I made my voice real soft. Roses are red, violets are blue, graduation is here, and your feet smell like stink, I said. After that, Principal kept his eyes closed for a real long time, and he did not say any words. Then very slow he put his head down on his desk, and he started to laugh. His laughing got louder and louder, and so guess what? Then I started laughing too. That poem was a beaut, right, Principal? We are having ourselves a good chuckle over this, aren't we? No, Junie B, no, we are not having a good chuckle, he said, standing up. I'm sorry, your poem caught me completely by surprise, but I never should have laughed like that. He crossed his arms at me. You are right about one thing, though. Your poem is definitely silly, but silly things are not always appropriate to say in the classroom, are they? Your teacher made it clear that she didn't like what Polly Allen had said, Junie B, but you called out your poem anyway. He made squinty eyes. And please, do not blame it on your mouth, okay? You know you could have held it out inside. I shrugged my shoulders. So here's the principal trying to put his head down because he's laughing at what Junie B told him, and Junie B thinks it's funny too. But remember, it's not funny to say inappropriate things. I don't know, I said, kind of quiet. Maybe I could have kept it in. Principal tapped his fingers on his desk. It's a very serious matter to disobey a teacher, Junie B, he said, and I want you to sit here and think about just how serious it is. Can you do that, please? Yes, I said, I can. After that, I squeezed my eyes real tight, and I thought. Finally, I opened my eyes again. Good news, I said. I've said my last stink. Principal nodded his head. That is good news, he said. Then he stood up, and he held my hand, and he walked me into the hall. It's been an interesting year getting to know you, Junie B. Jones, he said. You're a fascinating little girl. Thank you, I said. You are fascinating, too. After that, both of us waved goodbye, and I started skipping back to room 9. And all of a sudden I stopped, and I spun around. Yeah, only we are not saying goodbye forever, right, Principal, right? Because next year I will get sent down here too, probably, or else you and I will see each other on the playground, right? Principal did a chuckle. Right, he said. Hurry. Hooray, hooray, I said. Then I turned back around and I skipped to room 9 my fastest, because maybe if I hurried, I could still sprinkle glitter on something. And that is the end of Chapter 3. Now Junie B knows that she's not supposed to say inappropriate things anymore. Tomorrow, when we read Chapter 4, we're going to find out what happens when Junie B hears that she's getting a cat and gown. I wonder what it will be.